Hey guys, Shuffleboson here, and I want to tell you a crazy story that goes back to when I was, I think I was 17. So some friends of mine that I played hockey with, we thought it'd be a good idea after a game we'd go to Denny's, and we dined and ditched. Now, you guys today, the youth of today, I don't think they do that shit anymore. You'd order stuff off the menu, eat, and then run out the front door without paying. I don't think people do that anymore. I know they don't TP houses anymore. I used to, fucking A, that might be like extinct. People are like, TP houses, what's that? If you don't know what TP in houses is, what that means, you get a bunch of toilet paper rolls, you go out at night to somebody's house when they're sleeping, and you be real quiet, all dressed in black and shit, and you throw toilet paper up into the trees or their front yard, get it all over the yard, their car, their top of the roof, all that shit. I remember I found money in the street one time. I was riding my bike. I found $60 in cash right next to the gutter, and I spent it all on the cheapest toilet paper that the store had. And we did like a half a block. We did me and my friends. We toilet papered like 7 houses that night. I used to sneak out of my bedroom window and then ride my bike and fucking go off and do stupid shit in the middle of the night. I'm kind of getting off on a rant here. But anyway, so we decided to go to Denny's, dine and ditch. And we started out in Camarillo, California, SoCal. We dined and dished at the Denny's there, and it was a huge success. Nobody thought anything of it. And a week or two later, our friend Steve, if you guys saw the video about the hockey game from hell, he's the guy that I used to play hockey with that gave me a trophy. So it was me and Steve, my friend Ted, his brother Scott, another friend, and I forgot who else. A couple other guys were with us. So there's like 5 of us. We didn't want to go to the same Denny's in Camarillo because we thought that we'd be risking it, So we went up to Newbury Park. There's a Denny's there. And Steve was driving a 1985 Toyota pickup truck. It was a long bed. And so half of us were in the back of the bed when we went up the mountain to go to this Denny's. Anyways, Steve kind of parked off in this one weird area, and we had to kind of hoof it a bit to get to the Denny's. We get in there, and we sit down at a booth. And I think that maybe the staff that was working there kind of had an idea of what we were going to do, because as soon as we got in there, the hostess seated us in the very, very back, like the furthest table away from the front door. I didn't even put that together until just now, but I think that maybe they were kind of onto us from the beginning. Anyway, so, we're ordering steak and shit and like everything. And it's stupid. Don't dine and ditch. But if you're going to be a dumbass and do it, just get an appetizer so you can run fast. We filled up on all kinds of food. And, but we kept getting like looks, from the hostess, and the hostess would talk to the waitress and shit, and they kept kind of looking over towards us and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, I think we're had. I think we're busted. We haven't even left yet. And they're kind of onto us. I should have pulled a Pat and went to the bathroom and then snuck around the restaurant to find the circuit panels and shut off the lights and then run out. Anyway, so, you know, we fucking order so much shit. Ted and Scott get up to go to the bathroom, but then they sneak out the front door. And then it was just me and Steve. And at this point, it's obvious because the waitress never came back to ask us if we wanted refills on our sodas or anything like that, just to check on us. Like, we're being stared at this point. So now I got the pregame jitters, you know, and if I had the money on me, I would have just walked up front and said, look, we're out of here. I'd like to pay. And I would have paid. But I didn't have any money on me. So, I mean, I did a lot of stupid shit when I was young. This is fucking up there. Kinda. So I said to Steve, I'm like, dude, are you ready to go? He said, yeah. He wasn't excited. And we get up from the table and we headed down the way to the front door. So there's 2 front doors there at this Denny's. I don't know if they still have it. I haven't been back since. I fucking bailed out on them. There's when you're coming in from the outside, there's a door you open up, and then there's like a little area with like a couple benches and some touristy shit, you know, things to do in Newbury Park or whatever. And then there's another door you open, which will take you into the restaurant. So we get to that door, and then I heard the person, oh god, the hostess or what? I guess you call them that, the hostess. I don't know. The person that you know seats you and shit like that. I don't know what the proper term is. I'm an idiot. Anyway, but she flips out. She's all, Dennis, they're leaving. And then fucking, we're like, huh? And like we're kind of casually trying to walk out towards the door, and then we fucking hear that, and we look towards her, and the general manager was in the back, and this guy came running towards the fucking counter where she was at, where the register was. She jumps out of the way, and this guy one-handed vaulted over that fucking counter, and at this point, me and Steve are out that fucking door. And then we get to the second door, and we like swing it back towards him, and it kind of hits him, and the fucking chase is on. He's hauling ass after me and Steve, and we just ate steak and fucking baked potato, a bunch of sodas and shit. So we're like fucking, we're not exactly fast runners, especially me. I run like a cartoon character. I'm like fucking Barney Rubble. I got short little legs and a long torso and tiny little arms. I'm built like a big midget. But fucking Steve, who's like 6'1", fucking long legs, he's got these long strides. We're hauling ass. We run around to the back of the parking lot there, and we're fucking just booking it. And we can hear this guy after us. And Steve does a smart thing. He decides he splits off from me. I keep going straight. And that kind of slowed that guy down for a bit because he wasn't sure who to chase after. But of course, fucking it took him just a fraction of a second. Like, let's chase after this fucking guy. And so he's catching up to me, and I'm in this back area parking lot. I don't know. I mean, if you've been there, on the other side of the Denny's is like a little commercial area with like these offices and stuff and a parking lot. I'm in there, and I'm just running as fast as my ass can go, and I can hear his fucking steps getting closer and louder and louder. I'm like, fuck, he's about to tackle me. And so I look around, I'm running, and I kind of turn my head to see like how far away he is, and I see his hand about to grab my fucking hockey jersey. I'm like, oh fuck. And so I'm running. I'm not paying attention to where I'm fucking going. I'm looking at this guy about to fucking grab me, and then I realize I may be running into something. So I look to see where I'm going, and there's like a in this parking lot, they had bushes, that separated certain areas and stuff. And it's probably like, I don't know, like 15, 20 feet long. And I was running right into one. I had no time to stop and go around it. So I just Kool-Aided through this fucking bush that was probably like 3.5 feet tall. But this guy stopped and went around and then started chasing after me some more. But that gave me a good amount of distance. I don't know why he didn't jump through the bushes like I did, but he stopped and went around. Now I'm heading towards. Now I don't know if it's still there anymore. There used to be like an equestrian center there, on the other side of Denny's. But to get there, you had to go through this parking lot and go across a road, and then there was like a marsh, like a bog, kind of thing. I run across the road, and I get into this field, and there's only one street light that's on that road that I ran across. And I haul ass into that field, and it's completely dark out there. No light or nothing, and I just duck down, and I'm just in the mud and shit, just laying down in these weeds, and I'm peeking through, and I could see this fucking guy, and he's underneath the street light, and he's looking around. And he's like doing this shit, and I'm like, fuck, I got away from him. And he's looking, and he goes, you have to come out sometime. And then he turned around and he went back into that parking lot where the buildings were, the commercial spaces, office spaces were, and he disappeared into some shadows, and I didn't see him. I didn't know where he was. I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna wait this shit out. And this is before cell phones and shit like that. So I had nobody to call, to come help me. I'm all alone, laying down in this fucking little bit of a swamp because it rained a bit. And I'm all alone. And I'm covered in mud. And I'm like a half hour from home. And it's at night. And like, how the fuck am I going to get out of there? This guy's waiting in the fucking shadows, waiting for me to come out. And he knows he's got me trapped. He does. So I'm laying down in there for probably 15 minutes. It seems like hours, but honestly it's probably 15 minutes. Maybe 20. And I look down the road and I see Steve's truck. And the boys are in the back of the bed. And they're driving slow down the road. And I'm like, fuck. They were too far for me to get out and go down the road, because this guy would come out and fucking get me. So I'm just sitting there in the dark, and I'm like, fuck. And I could tell they're kind of like, they're turning to come down the road towards me. And I just, I felt so pathetic. I'm like, help! Help! And then I see the brights come on Steve's truck, and then he comes like coming down the road, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here's my chance. And I get up and I start running towards the road. They stop. They see me. Steve's looking at me. Ted's looking at me. Scott's looking at me, and they're reaching out with their hands, and I'm running towards them. And I'm covered in mud and shit, and I fucking see past them, that guy, the fucking manager from Denny's, comes out of the shadows, and he's booking it towards the truck too. But nobody sees him but me, because they're looking at me. I'm like, fuck. So I dive into the back of the truck. Steve punches it. This guy is fucking on me. He reaches over and he's grabbing me by my hockey jersey. And as Steve accelerates, it's choking the shit out of me. And if you've never played hockey, you don't know how durable and how strong those jerseys are. You know when Hulk Hogan would get the red ass and he'd rip his fucking t-shirt and shit at WrestleMania? Hulk Hogan couldn't rip you never saw him do it in a hockey jersey, fucking Bob Probert couldn't rip one off of Marty McSorley, you know. But so that's what this guy was doing to me. And he was like trying to drag me out of the fucking bed of the truck, and he's pulling me up and out. And fucking Scotty, he saw what was going on. He pushed my head down, and he just fucking blasted this guy in the fucking face, and the guy let go. And I'm like, you know, just fucking. But to get to the highway, you had to go around Denny's to get onto the road, to get to the light, to get on the highway to head back to Camarillo. Well, this manager, he went back, he cut through the parking lot that he just chased me in and got out on that fucking road, and he stood out in the middle of the road with his hands on his hips like that. And I'm not fucking lying to you. Steve fucking floored that truck, that little 4-cylinder pickup truck. He gunned it. And I think he had like a little bit of a exhaust leak somewhere, so it was pretty loud that you could tell that he was flooring it. Steve was gonna fucking run him over. And at the last second, that guy dived out of the way. Had he not done it, Steve would have killed that fucking guy. We never dined and dished again. I don't recommend it. It was a stupid fucking thing to do. But I'm telling you, man, the adrenaline was running through me that day, that night. That was nuts. That was nuts. You know, and I need to pay it forward. I mean, there's like karma or something involved with this. I need to like call that Denny's in Newbury Park and say, hey, look, the next group of 5 that comes in, I'd like to pay their tab. I don't know if they'll let me do that. Just a random act of kindness. It's just like me just feeling bad for what I did. Being a fucking dumbass kid. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I really do. That was a very terrifying night for me as a 17-year-old dumbass. Alright guys, high fives and boners. Check out my Twitch. It's free. You can follow. I play games and hang out with you guys. Really cool community. And if you like this story, hit like, hit subscribe. It's free. And yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. It's helps my channel out. High fives and boners. And yeah, more stories to come. I got a lot more things to talk about. So the well's not dry, guys. Hope you're doing well. Thanks again for watching my video. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys later. Bye.